You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rudrance for Black and White Sports 2. Well, we're going to talk about Daniel Jones and Lamar Jackson because it seems for some reason all of a sudden Daniel Jones's contract is tied to Lamar Jackson's contract. I don't know why. But in true woke media, sports media fashion, when you have no other argument, let's call racism in from the bullpen. Here comes the lazy fat slob known as racism, because Daniel Jones is now being accused of benefiting from white privilege. And you knew, we heard it last week. I did a video. It was starting to emerge. And now we can just put the hammer down. People are making this Lamar Jackson thing about race. We know it's not. I've talked about all the different reasons it is not, okay? Clear regression, right, in quarterback play, and yes, he has regressed. Injury history now. There's two big ones here. The blatant perception around the league that he was healthy enough, not healthy, but healthy enough to play for the Ravens versus the Bengals last game of the year and in the playoffs. There is an absolute feeling around the NFL that he let the Ravens just go out there without their starting quarterback when many felt like he was healthy enough to play. That is a real perception around the NFL right now. Okay? That one thing has hurt Lamar as much as anything. Okay? Next reason. Has no agent. The teams around the NFL have just pretty much decided they don't want to negotiate with him and they don't want to negotiate with his mother. Okay? Why? Both of them are going to be emotional in the situation. That's why you have an agent. All right? To run as a buffer so the team... Because the fact is, when you enter into these negotiations, unless you're Patrick Mahomes, I mean, other than that, it's going to get ugly behind the scenes, and teams shit on their players to the agent. I mean, take mango-sized shits all over their players to the agents while they're negotiating. That agent is there as a buffer, okay? So they can't just walk in and be like to Lamar Jackson's mom, he played like trash. Or you realize there's skepticism about how hurt he was, etc., etc., etc. That makes the negotiations very difficult. Next thing, I mean, we talked about this. He wants the Deshaun Watson fully guaranteed contract. He's not getting that either. So enter in the fact that this is Daniel Jones's fault. Now, Daniel Jones signed a big contract, but that contract, like a lot of these initial numbers, isn't quite what it seems either. Okay? So, neither is Geno Smith. Some of these other deals, they look great because the agent puts out there the absolute maximum. If everything on the shitting planet goes right, Daniel Jones will make this much money. Potentially. I mean, the agent's not going to put out there, well, really, it's, it's 2 years, $82 million, and then maybe not even going to be around in the third year. They don't explain that, do they? Because it doesn't benefit the agent. So, let's get to this. Oh, now that we got all the semantics out of the way, all the actual... oh, man, this is just crazy. I mean, when you don't have an argument, we're going to call in racism. Outkick, Bobby Burack. Should Daniel Jones have sacrificed his salary in the name of Lamar Jackson? Say that out loud. That is the dumbest thing that anybody could ever suggest in the history of the world. But my God, Daniel Jones is privileged. Lamar Jackson is a victim. It's where we're going. The media seems to think so. The situations are not comparable. They're not. By the way, in case you're just wondering real fast, 62.3% completion percentage. I've got Daniel Jones here from last year, 67.2% completion percentage. Daniel Jones, by the way, won more games than Lamar Jackson did last year. Threw for 1,000 more yards. 2 less touchdowns. Let's see. We want to look at the running stats very quickly. 708 yards for Daniel Jones, 7 TDs. Let's just look at Lamar. 764, 4 less TDs than Daniel Jones. And his greatest ability, which is availability, he cannot fulfill that because he's injured. So there's that. Jackson turned down an offer from the Ravens for $133 million guaranteed over 3 years, according to himself. Jones signed a contract with the Giants for $82 million guaranteed over the first 2 years of the deal. Yeah, see? Sounds a lot different than 4 for $160. Yet, the media has set out on a quest to use their current deals to prove Daniel Jones is privileged and Lamar Jackson is a victim. Podcast host Ashley Nicole Moss, never heard of you, went viral for this tweet. Daniel Jones just signed for $160 million in 4 years with $104 guaranteed. So the Ravens want us to believe there's just $29 million difference between these two quarterbacks. Please be serious. Well, one did play the full amount of games and actually showed up for his team in the playoffs. There is that. So, and look, I don't know that anybody will go out there and say, look, we blatantly know that Daniel Jones is better than Lamar Jackson. No, I consider, taking a step back, I consider Lamar Jackson to be the better quarterback. But there's definitely signs of regression back towards the ozone layer in which Daniel Jones exists in for Lamar Jackson. In other words, he's entering the same atmosphere now. He's regressed to the point that Daniel Jones is catching up to him, frankly. I'm just being real. Again, Jones signed for $82 million, not $104 guaranteed. Jackson turned down a deal for $133 guaranteed. I know facts are inconvenient, as is the math. But the lady's tweet is no less dishonest than those sent by Ryan Clark, ESPN race baiter, and Robert Griffin III, also ESPN duo, far from the most intelligent. Quote, we live in a world where Daniel Jones' current salary is higher than Lamar Jackson's, tweeted crybully Ryan Clark. Clark wants his followers to think the NFL is favoring Jones over Jackson. He suggests Jones received a higher offer. Then came former backup QB RG3 with a tweet besmirching Jones's career in an attempt to assist Jackson in negotiations. And that's the other thing. Why is the media involved in Lamar Jackson's negotiations? Why are you guys lobbying so hard for Lamar? Are you doing that? Are you guys going to do that for Joe Burrow? Just wondering, is the playing field going to be even? Bet it's not. Bet it's not. Who's gonna benefit from privilege then? We don't want to talk about that, do we? Okay. Don't want to talk about that. And he lists the accomplishments here. And over the course of the total career, Lamar Jackson's got the better numbers. Again, regression, though, is a thing the last 2 years. Availability is a thing the last 2 years. And right, wrong, or indifferent, there is a certain amount of what have you done for me lately. That's just a fact. Okay? Just a fact. Similar tweets continue to trend. The process is quite simple, hardly a novel thing. The media compares an average white athlete to an above-average black athlete, eliminates context, and asks the consumers to pretend white privilege is at play. Comparisons of Jones and Jackson are the definition of race baiting. Daniel Jones' deal has nothing to do with Lamar Jackson's negotiation. Not a damn thing. They are different players. The only similarity is their respective teams offered them fair value deals for their skills. Jones accepted this. Jackson rejected his. That is not on Daniel Jones. None of this is on. No reason Daniel Jones should be under attack because of Lamar Jackson. That's horse shit. It's also lazy. Their belittling Jones in comparison to Jackson is quite unnecessary. It's baseless comparison between two unrelated individuals to make the latter look better. Shall we randomly compare RG3 and Clark's broadcasting skills to Colin Cowherd's to help in Cowherd's next negotiations? Question mark. The market never argued Jones is more valuable than Jackson. Maybe they should. There has never been a debate between the two. Ian Rappaport explains, the Ravens are trying, believe me, if Lamar Jackson would take the deal Ravens offered, he would make far more than $40 million per year that Jones makes. Oh, interesting. Translation, Lamar Jackson, not the league, is why Daniel Jones currently makes more than he does. By the way, Jones also makes more than Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray makes more than Josh Allen. I mean, tell me that's not an issue. Hashtag timing. Timing dictates terms. Jackson wants a fully guaranteed contract despite missing 35% of the past 2 seasons and regressing to the second least accurate passer in the league. The Ravens say they make a promise to him, but only for 3 years. He wants longer. That's not a proof of racism, as former players claim. That's business. And slandering Daniel Jones' name won't force teams to compromise. Daniel Jones is not privileged. He signed a deal that his skill set and durability warranted. Lamar Jackson is not a victim. He rejected a deal with his skill set and injury history. Was Daniel Jones supposed to wait and sign his deal after Lamar Jackson? So, and of course not. It's a good article by Bobby Burack, too, by the way. Of course he's not supposed to. I mean, come on. Come on. I mean, at this point, the fact that Lamar Jackson's not making a ton more money is on Lamar. I mean, he could have accepted that contract, not to mention, where's all your sponsorships that your mother has gotten you, that you've gotten yourself? Lamar Jackson should be all over the place. Under Armour, Nike, somebody, I'm loving it, some kind of McDonald's thing or Subway or something, nowhere to be found. There's a ton of ancillary dollars he's not making because of this agent thing, too. All right? Make no mistake about that. And we know how the quarterback thing works, too. It seems like, for the most part, and the league did do a good job of checking itself. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, Daniel Jones is not the highest paid quarterback. Derek Carr was not the highest paid quarterback. You get the point. They've at least quit doing the every new quarterback that has to re-sign has to be the highest paid. At least that is finally coming back, and there's becoming a middle class of quarterback salaries again. Because no way in hell does Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, or Russell Wilson deserve the contracts that they got right now. What do those 3 guys have in common? Is that did white privilege hold them back from getting contracts none of the 3 deserve? Crickets? Okay. Gotcha. Tell me what you think, Black and White Sports 2 supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.